eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you, for you, for you, for you, for
my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Take my eyes open to force reality. Why can't you just let me eat my weight in glee? I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. Some days I feel skinnier than all the other days. Sometimes I can't tell if my body belongs to me. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Content, hold your breath and feel the tension. Devils hide behind redemption. Honesty is a one-way gate to hell. I wanna taste consumption. Eat faster till we stop slipping. Hear the children sing aloud. It's music till the wick burns out. Be carefree lately, yeah. Just picking up daisies. Got one too many quarters in my pockets. Counting like the 40 clovers in my locket. Untied laces, yeah. Just tripping on daydreams. Got dirty little lullabies playing on repeat. Might as well just ride around the nursery and count sheep.
I'm floating through the air. The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done. Oh, I am restricted, fixed upon the web. I need to kick the habit that my mind is breathing in. Break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless. Burning the bridge that keeps us. I'm here and I'm feeling exaggerated, that's what you assume. The story's over now, I must conclude. I am conflicted, watching where I step still, hanging in the balance. Not the life I want to live, I want to take it all. Standing tall, fear I've weighed the person you are. Oh, break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a fear
Yeah.
the sun. To dream, believe in strength. Now I'm the only one, only one. I was an ordinary boy until I broke the rules. My life destroyed, life destroyed. Until I woke awake, scream my mind, I shout, the ground shakes. How much can I take? My mind will break. Will it break? Can I take? Can I be your superhero? Superhero. Can I be your superhero? Superhero. 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 Fly away. It's the first time of today. Today. To dream, believe. You are the strength, you're all I need. Need. Oh, gonna give it a shot. Only one of me to shield you all from the enemy. You're a superhero. You're a superhero. Can I be your superhero? Superhero. 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 Can I be your superhero?
We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost. We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are. Mysterious, that's the part you only show. 'Cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. Mysterious, that's the part you only show. 'Cause you're too curious.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Motive Racing YouTube channel. We're back here for the Clio Cup here on a Monday night for this Project Cars 2 League that we've run since the very beginning here at Motive Racing. A big warm welcome to everybody currently tuning in here live on the stream here tonight for what is the third round, should I say, of action here in this season. Wow, getting my rounds mixed up here, shocking. But currently we've had 6 races. I can't get anything right here tonight, guys. I do apologise. We've had 6 races of action currently so far this season. This is going to be races 7, 8 and 9 tonight here for this round 3, obviously third week of the season, and with 3 races per round each week here in the Clio Cup this season, and the touring cars as well. We've got plenty of racing action to get through here tonight. 3 sprint races, no pit stop required over the course of tonight. We're going to have 2 practice sessions and a qualifying session for the middle race. We are also going to have a reverse grid based on the championship standings for this first race of the night. So I'm just going to quickly read through the order, and I'm going to post it on the Discord as well, just so that the drivers know where they're set to be starting for this race. So I'm just going to quickly go through it. So guys, if anybody's listening here to the grid order, please keep your ears out, because I'm going to read through it just in a second. I need to get the championship standings up first, actually. In fact, let's go through the championship standings and then do the grid order. Let's do things the other way around. Let's go reverse tonight, shall we? So leading the championship on 299 points is Makgaming. He is the reigning champion of the Clio Cup, and he's currently got a commanding lead. He's 82 points clear of Cobb, who sits in second on 217. Cobb not with us tonight, unfortunately. We think he might be out of the championship, so he's not going to be pursuing Maik anytime soon. So that leaves Jay as Maik's closest contender here this season, having taken the only other win this season away from Maik. Obviously, Maik has won 5 out of 6 races so far this season. Jay denying Maik a perfect 6 out of 6 start last week at Sportsman Sugo in the third race of the night. But he sits third in the standings on 157 points. He's 132 points behind Maik in the championship. Then in fourth, we've got Park Pooper Rex, who sits on 152 points. He's only 7 clear of Aussie Albie, who sits in P5 in the standings. And then you've got Nick Lavilla, who's only 2 points behind Aussie Albie, sat in 6th. He's not here also tonight. John Boy sits in 7th place in the standings, the champion from 2 seasons ago, on 130 points, having missed last week's round at Sportsman Sugo. So he was obviously lost a lot of points there, and it's unlikely that he's going to be able to challenge for this championship this season. You've got Archie sat in 8th, his first season in the Clio Cup here at Motive, having made his return to Project Cars 2 after a few seasons on ACC. He sits in 8th on 126 points. Big Blue sits in 9th in the standings on 124 points. Smoky Devil P10 on 124. 122. He's not here tonight, unfortunately. Smoky Devil not with us out on the track. Emmaford sits in 11th in the standings on 121 points. Ryan Ruby sits on 62 and 12th in the standings. Raids Fader in 13th on 28 points. Charlie Goff only 14 points on the board, down in 14th place. So I don't know if that's a mistake or what. That doesn't seem right to me, but maybe it is, I don't know. But he's had a torrid season so far. Connor Boylan sits in 15th in the standings on 9 points, and Granasty still yet to get off the mark. Hasn't turned up to a single race this season. I think I'm going to have to get that sorted out and get him removed from the standings, because he has not raced a single time this season. So that's a little bit strange, but nonetheless, we've got 2 minutes left to go here in this practice session. So it's going to be a reverse grid based on the championship standings. So based on who's here tonight, it's going to be Connor Boylan, who will be starting P1. So Connor will start P1. That's Connor first place here on the grid for this reverse grid formation. That Connor Boylan P1. P2 is going to be Charlie Goff. So that's Charlie Goff in second. Then it's going to be Emmaford, who will be third place. So that's third for Emmaford. Fourth place will be Big Blue. So Big Blue in fourth. Archie will be P5, so 5th place for Archie. John Boy will start 6th, that's P6 for John Boy. Aussie will be P7, again P7 for Aussie Albie. P8 will be Park Pooper. Park Pooper Rex, 8th place on the grid. Jay, 9th. That's a 9th place on the grid for Jay. 10th will be Makgaming. and then 11th place, it's going to be luck of the draw here. Craig will be starting 11th. So Craig will be starting in 11th place. The Mutsnuts will be in 12th, and Revolt Detailer will be 13th. So guys, hopefully you got that. If anybody's in the game chat, hopefully you played that out. I tried to like introduce that as slowly as I could so that you might be able to get the messages across there. So that's obviously the grid order. We'll go through it again before we get into the actual race itself. But here we are then, practice session, closing stages here of this practice session right now. So we're coming towards the end of it, and it's currently Jay setting the fastest time here on a 1:28.2. So he's really got the pace here tonight around Texas Road Course. Makgaming 2/10 to drift. The Mutsnuts has also done a very solid time there. He's got himself within half a second of Jay's quickest lap time there. So that's a good effort there from him. John Boy a little way off. You've got Craig in the pits at the moment, but coming towards the end of this practice session right now, I'm going to try and just get the my phone screen so that it doesn't lock every 30 seconds, because it's a pain in the you know what. I actually don't know why I can't. It's not letting me change my auto lock for some reason, which is absolutely bizarre. This is unprecedented. I've never had this before, where my phone will not let me set my auto lock to turn off. It's really quite bizarre, and so that's now currently occupying my full attention, and I'm not really able to do anything else. How do I take? Oh, so you got to go to battery and then turn low power mode off. Okay, all right, there we go, all right then, so that's sorted now. So here we go. So anyway, looks like Jay, your quickest man in this practice session. As we can see, Big Blue coming up towards the line. He's got a bit of a tow here actually off of one of the other drivers. That was Archie there and Big Blue towing each other along. They go P5 and 7 here, but obviously it's not going to be too much reading into this because it is only a practice. So that is looks like that's going to be that then. But I'm going to read through the grid order one more time here for this sprint race, or for the sprint race, for the first race of the night. Obviously not the sprint race anymore. They're 3 sprint races over the course of tonight, but it is going to be, so tonight we're going to have Connor Boylan starting this one on pole position. Oh no, Connor's left the session. Oh god. Okay, this is a disaster. Oh no. Right, so it's going to be Charlie Goff starting in P1 for this one. Charlie Goff will start in first place. Second place is going to be Emmaford. Third place is Big Blue. Fourth place is Archie. Fifth place is John Boy. Sixth is Aussie Albie. Seventh is Part Pooper. Eighth will be Jay. Ninth will be Mike. 10th will be the Mutsnuts. 11th will be Craig, and 12th place will be Revolt Detailer. Right then, here we go. So we're going to have one formation lap to get in, reverse grid order based on the championship standings, and hopefully everybody's been able to hear that grid order there. But here we are then guys, we're just lining up on the grid, getting ready to go here for races 7, 8 and 9 here of the Clio Cup, obviously season 12 here on Project Cars 2 at Motive. Smash the like button guys if you are enjoying the action, if you are a big fan of the Clio Cup and the guys who race in it. Absolute credit these guys to the Motive Racing Leagues, and it's great to see all of them out on track. What a season we've had so far in the Clio Cup with this new format for the Clio Cup. Obviously the 3 sprint races rather than having a sprint and a feature race, and it's meant that the racing's been a lot closer, a lot more intense, and we've just seen overall more battles over the course of this season than we have in previous seasons. It's been great to watch. As I'm just double checking my audio there, it sounds like it's all good, so we've got no issues just there then. But yeah, we're just waiting here for everybody to get their setups finalised and figure out what exactly they're doing here. Exactly, obviously, there's no real, you don't really need to finalise your setups because obviously it's default setups. So I don't know what I'm talking about there, but nonetheless, somebody's taking a sweet time about this because yeah, nobody's well, seems like we're still sat here waiting. So unfortunately we've lost Connor from tonight. Connor's just DM'd me saying that he's had a change of plan, so he's not going to be racing, unfortunately. It's a shame there to lose Connor from tonight, but nonetheless, we've still got 12 of us here out on track tonight as we're just getting ready. The lights should be coming on in a few moments time, and here we go. So we're underway for the formation lap. So now with Connor not being here, obviously we've read out the revised grid order for this one, so hopefully everybody knows where they're starting and can get themselves into the appropriate positions. Here we are then, guys. We are moments away from the start of the first race of the night here for the Clio Cup, race 7 of 18 for the whole season here for season 12 here on Project Cars 2 at Motive on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 platforms. Charlie Goff, contender in some of the races from last season, hasn't had the start to this season at all, but he's got a bit of a big opportunity here, starting from pole position, obviously due to the reverse grid based on the championship standings. What can Charlie do from pole position here tonight? Mafford right behind him with Big Blue waiting in the wings as well. Archie took his first pole, obviously down to the reverse grid on the championship standings last week at Sugo, and managed a third place finish in race 1 last week. Can he back that up with another podium here tonight as we're just coming up towards the line now? Charlie Goff, when he puts his foot to the floor, will be officially getting this race underway, and it looks like we're underway, green as we're coming over the line here to start the first race of the night here at Texas Road Course. You can see Mafford there ahead of Big Blue, followed by Archie. A bit of a cluster of cars there. Archie, John and Ozzy there running pretty close. Park Pooper's got Jay, Mike and the Nuts all over him as Craig and Revolt Detail got a bit of a sleepy start there. He's already one off the back of the pack, but coming down towards turn 1, round the first banking they come. Charlie leads as Big Blue's really attacking here on Mafford, looking to the outside. We've also got John Boyle trying to look into the inside of Archie as we 3 wide coming into turn 1. As you can see there, Archie sending it down the inside there from 4th into second place, and what a start there from Archie. He manages to hold it, but gets it a bit loose there on the exit of the corner. Now we're almost 4 wide coming into turn 2, and Archie has to back out of that one. Mafford down the inside, gets tagged there by Big Blue. On John Boy's trying to thread the needle here down the middle. As we can see, somebody's got it all wrong in the background. Makgaming was onto the grass there, but Mafford comes out on top in that battle for second place. Big Blue ahead of John Boy, followed by Park Pooper. Jay's up into 7th place as we can see the Nuts there, making his way through. Archie's had a nightmare. Archie's off, and so is Mike. So Archie and Mike having an off there, coming through the chicane here on the first lap as we can see Big Blue and John Boy are side by side coming through the final part of the infield. And John Boy throwing a few little feints to the inside, trying to distract Big Blue in the mirrors. And here he goes, he's going to go for the cutback here, out onto the oval track. You can see John Boy got a bit of a compromised run, and that might leave him vulnerable here to Pooper Rex as Aussie Albie and Jay side by side here, coming out onto the banking here for the first time at racing speeds. But Charlie Goff trying to break away a bit. He hasn't managed to break the toe completely from Alfred. The gap is just under a second at the moment. Big Blue has got John Boy looking to his inside. I tell you what, John Boy's got a little bit alongside him. Oh no! And John Boy and Big Blue have crashed, and John Boy has been disqualified from the race for speeding in the pit lane. And there's somebody who's flown off onto the infield there. What has gone on? Pooper there with big damage on the car. Big Blue obviously had the collision with John Boy. He's now well off at the back of the pack as well. Charlie leading the race ahead of Alfred, followed by Jay. Jay's goes off into third place there ahead of Aussie Albie. The Mutt Nuts there running a couple of seconds behind them. You've got Revolt Detailer and Craig side by side here coming into the first braking zone, and Craig's going to try and keep it around the outside of Revolt Detailer. Revolt Detailer's got the move done on the inside there. Craig's going to try and get the cut back here coming up towards turn 2, side by side here. Can he get it back around him here as he's looking around the outside? Craig I don't think he's going to be able to do that, and Revolt Detailer holds on to P6. Alfred though is challenging Charlie for the lead. He's got the move done into the chicane. Great move there from Alfred. Jay now in the background looking to try and capitalise on this if he can, as they're coming now through the right hand, through the infield. A bit of a lock up there from Charlie as he goes a bit deep, and that might allow Jay out the inside. Jay's going to have to run, and that's going to be job done there for Jay up into second place. But a chaotic race so far. Big Blue and John Boy having a collision. The big news is that John Boy out of this race at the end of the first lap, and Jay is all over the back of Alfred here trying to seize the lead here in this race. Makgaming, the championship leader, having a bit of a difficult start to this race as well. Had the collision with Archie coming into the chicane, lap 1. He's now down in 7th place. He's nearly 10 seconds off for the lead. The question is, has he got damage which might inhibit his ability to close the gap to the leaders? But it's Alfred, Jay and Charlie running 3/10 apart at the moment. Aussie Albie's right on the back of these guys as well, as Jay there tagging the grass as they come over the line here to complete lap 3 of the race. Now Jay's looking to the outside. Can he get the run here? You can see Charlie's also looking to try and get the slipstream if he can, as he's looking to tuck in if he can. He's looking to try and now get the run off of Jay as Alfred there hugging the apron, as we can see Aussie Albie sizing these guys up as well. Can Aussie Albie make a move to the inside? He might be able to make this side by side here with Charlie. He's a little bit too far back at the moment, but Jay has gone around the outside there of Alfred. Alfred this might lose out here also to Charlie and Aussie. Alfred's lost a couple of places here, and he's going to lose out here to more drivers as he's looking back down the inside here. And can he get the move back done on Aussie? Yes he can, but Jay up into lead of the race. Great first few laps here from Jay. He has gone from 7th on the grid up into the lead of the race. What a first couple of laps it's been from him, as Alfred managed to hold on ahead of Aussie Albie there just about. But Charlie there in P2, he can obviously see Jay disappearing a little bit into the distance, but Jay has got a time penalty here from the race director, I assume for track limits. Let's have a little peek and see what that is. It's a 1 second penalty, so it's not the end of the world at the moment for Jay, but he just needs to keep himself out of trouble throughout the rest of this race. We've unfortunately lost John Boy from this first race. He's probably just jumped out to do a bit of practice here for the next 2 races we've got tonight. Pooper's come in to get some damage repaired, and is down in P11. He is a long way off of the leaders here, and I think his race is pretty much done and dusted. But Jay, Charlie, Alfred, your top 3, Aussie Albie ahead of the Mutt Nuts, and you've got Revolt Detail a long way off here, battling with Makgaming for 6th place. These two are lapping, well, Mike's actually lapping a little bit quicker than the leaders at the moment, but he's a long way behind, as Jay, Charlie, Alfred and Aussie currently running pretty close to each other right now. You can see these 4 separated by just under 2 seconds. The Mutt Nuts hasn't completely fallen off of these guys also. He's still there and can still keep these guys on their toes, but Jay with a fantastic opening to this race. That is exactly what Jay needed. Obviously he took his first win of the season in the final race of the night last week at Sugo, and he's currently picking up where he left off last week at Sugo, leading this race here on lap 5 here at Texas Road Course here. Charlie there just ahead of Alfred and Aussie Albie. You've got the Mutt Nuts trying to keep the toe, trying to hang on to them if he can. Mike's got ahead of Revolt Detail now up into 6th place. He's got that move done. Big Blue's in the pits to get some damage repaired by the looks of it, possibly due to the collision that he had with John Boy at the end of what was lap 2 on the charts, but obviously lap 1 in terms of the actual racing action itself. But Jay ahead of Charlie still keeping on to that lead. These two have just gapped Alfred and Aussie Albie a little bit over the course of this lap. Aussie Albie's now going to try and put the pressure on Alfred if he can. The Mutt Nuts has just dropped off for these guys as well over the course of lap 5, but Charlie's trying to get himself into a window where he can have a crack at Jay coming down the oval track. He looked like he got a better exit there actually, coming out of the infield, and Charlie Goff might fancy his chances here of getting the move done on our former runner-up in this Clio Cup championship here. Jay is also our former touring car champion, as we can see Pooper Rex and Big Blue, Pooper Rex and Big Blue coming into the pits here at the end of lap 5, but Jay, Charlie, Alfred and Aussie so close, and Charlie's now got the run run, and this is going to be for the lead of the race. Charlie Goff looking to the outside, Jay's going to hold the inside, but we're going to go 3 wide here because M. Afford is looking to also get some of this action as well. Now Aussie Albie's looking to the side of M. Afford. M. Afford can't get the run here on Charlie Goff. Jay's got the inside covered, and is going to lead us coming into the first braking zone here, but Charlie side by side here with Aussie Albie. Aussie Albie's looking down the inside. Can he keep it there? He's going to just squeeze into the edge of the track. No, he's not. He's giving plenty of room in the end. Aussie Albie and Charlie side by side here, coming down towards turn 2. Who's going to come out on top in this? Charlie's going to have the inside line. Now Aussie's got to watch out because M. Afford's looking to the inside as well, as Charlie just holds it around the outside. As Aussie Albie's looking up the inside. Now you can see M. Afford trying to get alongside Aussie Albie here into the chicane. Can Aussie keep it? Yes, he does. Just manages to sneak through back ahead of M. Afford there, but this is allowing Jay to just try and stretch his legs a little bit here out the front. He's now got nearly a second of a gap here to these two, Charlie and Aussie, and obviously M. Afford right with these guys as well. The Mutt's Nuts within 3 seconds of the lead, but he's falling off for these guys a little bit at the moment. But Jay, looking quite good here, has got a little bit of an upper hand over these guys at this point. Craig's on the back of Revolt Detailer, but obviously he looks like, oh, Revolt Detailer's gone wide onto the grass, and that's going to give Craig the position there. He sneaks through up into 7th place. No dramas there for Craig, and he's now up into P7, but Jay's still leading the race by just under a second, so he's managed to pull out a bit of a gap over the course of this lap. Oh, I tell you what, Charlie really loose onto the apron there, just tagging that white line. Now Aussie Albie will look to the outside and will have the run here as they come around the oval section of the track. Jay with a time penalty, obviously he's got a 1 second penalty. I'm not sure if that's gone up yet, but we'll find out when we get to the end of this race. But currently Charlie now has got a bit of a run here. He's got the inside and has just pipped Aussie Albie as they're coming down towards the first braking zone. You can see M. Afford there is looking to the inside as well as they're now coming onto the brakes again, as M. Afford's now trying to he's not really close enough to send one at the moment, I'll tell you that, but Aussie Albie's tucking in as Charlie a bit wide, and Aussie Albie will be looking to the outside here coming into turn 2. Can he get around the outside? No, he can't. Charlie survives just about, but living dangerously there was Charlie Goff. I tell you what, he doesn't want to be making too many mistakes like that because it might cost him eventually, but that's giving Jay just an opportunity to try and ride off into the sunset as Revolt Detail has now arrived back on the rear end of Craig. Archie's now with these guys as well. This is now a battle for 7th, 8th and 9th places. 3 cars here running pretty close. The Mutt's Nuts isn't too far off of the leaders as well. He's keeping the gap at about 3 seconds here to Jay, so he's closed up onto the back of Aussie, M. Afford and Charlie a little bit, but Jay's now got a 1.5 seconds here over Aussie Albie. Aussie Albie's got ahead of Charlie, and Charlie lost out to M. Afford as well, so Charlie Goff has not had the lap here so far on lap 7 as we're over halfway through this first race of the night, and Jay looking quite good here to take another win after taking the win in the final race of the evening at Sportsman Sugo last week. He's looking to try and take the first win tonight here at Texas Road Course as we're coming around the oval section. Up over the line we come here to complete lap 7 of the race, and Jay currently doing everything he needs to do at this point. Aussie Albie, M. Afford and Charlie still pretty close, and these guys have actually gapped the Mutt's Nuts a bit through that final sector there, but the Mutt's Nuts was quicker than Charlie. He was slower than everybody else in the top 4 though, unfortunately for him. Makgaming lapping quicker than all of the top 5 right now, but he is 7 seconds behind. He's got work to do. I don't think he's going to be able to get into the top 5 here. I think he's too far behind. He's 5 seconds behind the Mutt's Nuts, and he's not lapping quickly enough to catch him before the end of this race. The Mutt's Nuts is just clinging on to the leaders at this point. Aussie Albie, Aussie Albie, M. Afford and Charlie have closed on Jay actually, and Jay's made a bit of a mistake here, and now you can see M. Afford looking to the inside of Aussie Albie side by side into the chicane, and M. Afford's going to make the move for P2. Can he get the move here on Jay as well? Jay got it all wrong, and it's now just caused a bit of a concertina effect. We're 3 wide here, as you can see, as now we've got Charlie looking to try and get on the inside as well. Charlie makes the move on 2 drivers. Oh, and Aussie's wide. Aussie onto the grass there. That'll give the Mutt's Nuts P4, but Charlie and M. Afford side by side here coming down towards the final corner of the infield section, and M. Afford holding it at the inside, but Charlie's going to try and get the cut back here. He gets a great run coming out of the corner, and Charlie Goff might get it alongside M. Afford. No effort. M. Afford got a better exit out of the corner due to the fact that he was on the outside, and also had a bit of a run off of Jay as well. He had the slipstream off of Jay, and that's given M. Afford the position. It's meant that he can hold on here ahead of Charlie for the time being, but the Mutt's Nuts is now in this battle, and Aussie Albie's still on the back of them as well. So Jay, M. Afford, Charlie, your top 3, and you got the Mutt's Nuts and Aussie making this a 5-way battle, and this is allowing Makgaming to close in on these guys as well whilst they battle it out. It's meaning that he can creep ever closer in this battle. Also Archie's on the back of Craig, and Revolt Detail is not too far off of them as well, as Charlie's lost out to M. Afford. Oh no, we've got a crash! Oh, we've got a big incident there between Aussie Albie and M. Afford. What a shame there. No, sorry, the Mutt's Nuts and M. Afford, not Aussie Albie. Aussie Albie's still there with these guys. M. Afford and the Mutt's Nuts there coming together coming into the braking zone, and the Nuts has got big damage there on the front of that car. What about Afford? Looking at his car, looks like he's got damage as well, so those two are going to be crabbing at the moment. We've got 6 minutes left in this race, probably I'd say 4 or 5 more laps left in this race. Jay, Charlie and Ozzy still separated by half a second at the moment, but what a shame to lose those guys. What a battle that was between 5 cars. Now it's a 3-man battle for the leaders. These two continue to battle it out, and we can see Maik now making the move here on the Nuts up into 4th place, but Afford there has left the race. What a shame. He's retired the car here on lap 9. What a drive it was. He was in there in amongst it around a track that he said he hates. He was doing a fantastic job, but we've lost Afford from this first race of the night, and Jay, Charlie and Ozzy still battling here, 7/10 of a second, currently separating your top 3 right now. The Nuts is trying to come back at Maik at this point. You can see those two still running pretty close in 4th and 5th places, but Jay still clinging on at the moment. Charlie and Ozzy still waiting in the wings, hoping they can do something here, as we've got just over 5 minutes left in this race. So we've got probably 4 more laps in this one before we get to the checkered flag, and it could be any of these guys winning this race, to be honest. Jay needs to put out a second though of a gap to these two, because he's got that 1 second penalty. Let's just see if it's still the same. Yes, it is. So at the moment he still needs to pull out that gap. Charlie, Ozzy still waiting in the wings, as we can see. Jay, a little bit of a lock up there coming into turn 1 as Charlie gets a little bit wide, and Ozzy's going to try and get a little bit of his car alongside him. He's looking to the outside, but Charlie's got that run down to turn 2, and he's going to hold on to him for the time being. But I suppose it's best case scenario at the moment for Jay, because we knew he had a penalty, but at the moment it's still only 1 second, so that's doable. It's not impossible for Jay to pull out a second. It needs to have quite a fortuitous infield and try and keep the gap coming out onto the oval, but it's not completely out of the question for Jay to win this race with the time penalty that he has right now. Charlie Goff and Ozzy Albi still running pretty much within a couple of tenths, as you can see. In fact, no, it's not just a couple of tenths. He's right up his bumper here, Ozzy Albi. He's now looking to the inside of Charlie as we come into the final corner on the oval section, on the infield section, as he goes a little bit deep but gets it stopped in time, and that's P2 now once again for Ozzy Albi. Also keeping an eye on the battle for P6 between Archie, Craig and Revolt Detailer. These two have been going at it since the last few laps, and it's still going on here between these guys. Revolt Detailer currently the rear gunner of this trio, as we see a bit of a lock up there from Craig. He goes a bit wide, gets it turned in and avoids the wall on the right hand side there, but these guys are really having a great little battle as well. So we've got battles throughout the pack at the moment. Jay, Ozzy and Charlie, and obviously Archie, Craig and Revolt Detailer are running very close as well. Let's go back to the leaders here, as we've got Jay still trying to break out that gap, but he's got these two in his slipstream and they're clinging onto him at the moment. They're not letting him get away. Ozzy Albi's tying a lasso to the back of Jay's car and he's saying, come on mate, pull me along, keep me going, keep me in the hunt. As we can see, Charlie once again looking on Ozzy Albi, but Ozzy Albi's got that one covered off coming into turn 1, as Craig is still on the back of Archie. You can see Revolt Detailer still watching and waiting and hoping he might be able to do something here in this battle, but he's just lost a bit of time actually as Revolt Detailer to these two over the course of that lap there. You see there Archie and Craig just pulled out a little bit more of a gap to him than they had before. Jay's got the gap at 3 tenths. Charlie's just dropped off of Jay and Ozzy a little bit over the course of this lap so far. Ozzy Albi's come so close to taking wins so far. He almost won the race at Daytona, this feature race in the GT3 league on a Tuesday night. He almost won that one, and he also almost won last season in the Silverstone National race in the touring cars. Oh, it was actually in the Clio Cup, sorry, I do apologise. It was the Clio Cup race, the feature race I think it was at Silverstone National. He also almost won that as well. So Ozzy Albi's come so close on so many occasions, but he's just come up short when it matters. He's currently running in P2. Can he finally get a win here on his comeback to Motive? He's won in Motive before, but certainly not since the resurgence of Motive. He hasn't won any races since we came back, but John Boy there saying in the comments, good luck all, come on teammate, he says. We've still got Jay, Ozzy and Charlie still running within 3 tenths of a second right now as we're coming down towards turn 1. As you can see there, Charlie's got the slipstream on both of them. Jay kind of holding the inside line as Ozzy's keeping it there around the outside. He's going to try and get the cut back here. Jay didn't get the best of exits, and Ozzy tapping him in the rear there, trying to put him off a little bit, maybe trying to catch him off guard. Jay's got the inside covered and is just parking his car in all the right places at the moment. Ozzy Albi can't find a way through. Charlie there waiting behind these guys. Oh, Jay's got it all wrong, and Ozzy Albi's got alongside inside him, coming out towards the chicane. Can Ozzy Albie keep it there? Bit of contact between the two of them. That's Ozzy Albie gone straight on. Has he got it? Did he get to cut the corner there? I think he did. And he's going to have to get a slow down for that one. He's going to back off here and probably lose out to Charlie as well. Jay maintains the lead for the time being, but Ozzy Albie's got the inside here on Charlie. Coming into the next right-hander, and Charlie's wide onto the grass, and he's going to lose a bit of time there to these guys now. And is that going to be his challenge for the win? Done and dusted. Ozzy Albie's still pretty close on the back of Jay, within a second of him at the moment, and can he keep himself in that slipstream? Jay got a better exit there coming out of the infield onto the oval, but Ozzy Albie with that slipstream will be able to get a bit of a tow and maybe close in on him coming through this section of the track. But it's Jay still leading the race at the moment. Ozzy Albie didn't help himself there in that part of the race, but Charlie maybe has just dropped off for this battle a little bit here as we're now on the final lap of the race. Archie and Craig still battling. Revolt Detailer has dropped off of this battle. Didn't see what happened there to him, but he's now well out of that fight for P5. Craig has actually dropped off of Archie a little bit, so Archie looking good here for a 5th place finish here in this race. But Jay, Ozzy, still half a second between these guys as they're coming down towards the first braking zone here for the final time in race 1. And Ozzy Albie's still not close enough. Oh, he goes a bit deep there coming into turn 1. And Jay's going to get the better exit and pull away from him coming up towards turn 2. Ozzy Albie went very late on the brakes there, and it's not really a part of the track where you want to be sending it on the brakes. But at the moment, he's still keeping himself there in the hunt. 7/10 of a second separating these two. We're on the final lap of the race into the chicane for the final time. And they both get it through very nice and cleanly there. Charlie's now dropped a second off of the back of Ozzy Albie. His hopes for the race win, I think, are all but gone. Now the thing is, Jay has got that 1 second penalty, so if Ozzy Albie can keep himself within a second here for this final section of the track, he will take the race win. Jay needs to absolutely nail this final corner, if you like. He gets it through absolutely clean as a whistle, but Ozzy Albie's still keeping him there, and I think Ozzy Albie is going to take the win unless he's picked up a penalty in this race, which he doesn't look like he has. Ozzy Albie should be your race winner. Now Jay is trying to weave around, trying to break that toe. He's going to slow himself down by doing that, and he might lose out to P2 here on Charlie if he doesn't get it together. But here we come. Jay up towards the line is going to take the win on the track, but it is going to be Ozzy Albie who takes the first race of the night here at Texas Road Course. Ozzy Albie, your race winner. Jay comes home in 2nd place. Charlie Goff completing the podium there in 3rd. Makgaming 4th place. A creditable drive from him after being way down the order to start off with. Archie's going to come over the line to take P5 in the end, ahead of Craig, who takes 6th place. We're going to see Revolt Detailer coming around the final part of the lap to take P7. In the end, lost quite a bit of time here to Archie and Craig, but Revolt Detailer there over in 7th place, and Park Pooper a lap down here in 8th place, having had to come into the pits for some very early repairs. As up towards the line he comes. John Boy there, absolutely delighted in the comments there, saying, get in there, mate, come on, Ozzy. Emma also very happy to see her other half there doing a fantastic job. Ozzy Albie, my man, gets the fastest lap to boot. What a performance from him. More of the same, please, in the next couple of races, Ozzy Albie. Great to see him back to his best. But that is your order then. So Ozzy Albie, Jay and Charlie Goff completing your podium. We'll be back very shortly, guys, for the middle race of the evening with a qualifying session as well. Don't go anywhere.
Can make me
Morning guys, welcome back to the channel. We are back here for the second race. We're currently in the qualifying session, preceding the second race, which is all about raw speed. This qualifying session is an opportunity for the drivers to show off their pace over one lap, which I don't get much of a chance to do this season on Project Cars 2 leagues, because obviously we're running a reverse grid based on the championship standings for the first race, and then the third race is a reverse grid based on the results from this one. So this is the only qualifying session that we get, and this is a chance for the drivers to show off their capabilities, as I said, in terms of just raw pace. You know, who's got the speed, who's got the credentials, who's got that technique around this circuit kind of thing. But I've got 12 of us currently in this session. Unfortunately, we're missing Connor tonight. Also, Smokey not with us either, so shame we couldn't have Smokey Devil out on track here. I'm not sure whether he told us actually, but nonetheless, we're missing Smokey here tonight, which is a shame. But yeah, not sure actually where he is, if I'm honest. I'm just going to double check and see if he did let us know that he wouldn't be here. But I don't think he notified us. Yeah, he didn't tell us or anything, so a bit strange. Nonetheless, here we are anyway. We've got a minute and a half left in this qualifying session. Craig currently your fastest man. They're all giving each other the toe here. Look at this. They're all getting in line and they're all helping each other out and boosting each other to quicker lap times. I tell you what, if you don't have a sparring partner here tonight, you're probably going to struggle. We've got the Lazy Camel in the comments here saying evening all. Welcome along, the Lazy Camel. Good to see you on here tonight. He's the CEO, the man behind the SLP, SimiliPro.com, the website where we actually facilitate the admin and the running and the just overall organisation of all of our leagues here at Motive. Every single one of them, all the Project Cars 2 leagues, all of the ACC leagues, and our F1 league as well, all run on simleaguepro.com. It's a fantastic resource for any sort of driver or league owner, anybody who runs a sim racing league. It's a fantastic little tool that you can use. You can organise the leagues, you can set up your events for the season, you can have your standings, all of that stuff on there, or you can just advertise it on there. You can also, you don't even need to be using it to run your league. Obviously we do, because it makes it a lot easier for us, but you don't actually need to. If you want to just advertise your league on there, you can go onto there. simleaguepro.com is where you can do that. Welcome along to the Lazy Camel here tonight. Nonetheless, we have got Makgaming, who's 2/10 off of the provisional pole time. He is obviously our Clio Cup champion here at Motive. He's coming up towards the line. Can he improve on his current time? He does. He goes on pole position, but Jay pips him there by 0.2 of a second. So Jay there now on provisional pole. Who else has done a lap? Maik in second, Clegg third. Aussie P4, your race 1 winner. John Boy's gone P5. He's out there on a lap though, so we'll be able to see what he can do in a few moments time. Pop Pipper P6, Charlie 7th, Big Blue in 8th. What about Archie? What can Archie put on the board as he's coming over the line now? He improves, but not by enough, stays in 9th place. What about Revolt Detailer? He's just coming round the final banking, or is he done for the session maybe? Potentially he's done for the session. The Mutts Nuts is out there. M. Afford is coming around the banking at the moment, so he'll be round in a few moments time. But what about John Boy? Is he on a lap in anger? Yes, he is. John Boy's out there. He's just coming through the final part of the infield section. So we'll see whether John Boy can maybe make use of a tow here. He has got a tow coming around the banking, so not 100% sure who it's off of, but there is a car right in front of him, which could benefit him massively here. So John Boy coming around the final part of the lap here. Who is it in front of him, actually? I think it might be M. Afford. It is. No, it's not M. Afford. Sorry, it's not M. Afford at all. Could it be the Mutts Nuts? It is the Mutts Nuts. Mutts Nuts goes P10. Now, where did John Boy go there? Because John Boy was right behind him and crossed the line just after. John Boy goes P5, so it didn't look like he improved actually there. But it's going to be Jay then starting on pole position for this second race. 2/10 clear of Makgaming. The two guys who fought out the finish it last week in the third race of the evening at Sugo are going to start on the front row here for this second race at Texas. Craig in third ahead of Aussie Albie. John Boy fifth ahead of Parker, followed by Charlie in 7th. Big Blue lining up in P8 ahead of Archie in 9th. The Mutts Nuts P10, and then you have M. Afford in 11th and Revolt Detail, and rounding out the grid here in 12th place. So here we are then, guys, straight up race to the line, no pit stops here in the Clio Cup or the touring cars. It's just a total sprint to the line. It's all about broad pace, it's all about racecraft, it's all about tenacity and aggression out on the track, but obviously not too much aggression because we are a clean sim racing league here at Motive Racing. But the guys are now just deciding whether they want to go with loose or stable in terms of their setups. So it's default setups only for the Clio Cup, so you're not really blessed with too many options as to what you can fit to your car. You obviously just got to go for loose or stable. Loose is obviously for faster straight line speed in general, and a more pointy car. Stable is for obviously a less pointy car but easier to control. Having said that, in the Clios, loose is the only way to go, if I'm honest. But it looks like we're underway. We're racing here for the second race of the night, and look at that. That was Craig there getting an absolutely terrible start. Did not move off the line at all. He's already been overtaken by John Boy, Aussie and Part Pooper, as John Boy's had an absolute flyer and is up into second place here, looking to try and challenge Jay as they're coming down the banking for the first time. John Boy there tucking into the slipstream. Makgaming has lost out to John Boy. He might lose out towards the Albie here as well, who's on the attack around the outside as we come down towards turn 1. We've got 3-4 wide in the background maybe, as we can see them coming into the corner now as John Boy's looking to try and go around the outside, but he gets it all wrong and gets a bit sideways there. Maik's now going to sneak back up the inside here ahead of John Boy. John Boy ever so wide there coming out of turn 1. Down towards turn 2 they come. Jay with the inside line. Maik trying to go around the outside of John Boy, but John Boy's got the inside line for turn 2 and keeps onto that one. Charlie there's gone ahead of Aussie Albie up into 4th place. You've got Craig there ahead of Pop, but followed by M. Afford. Big Blue Revolt Detail of the Mutts Nuts and Archie at the back of the pack. But Jay currently holding the lead. Makgaming's got ahead of John Boy. John Boy's lost out to Charlie as well. So John Boy losing 2 places. He's now defending the inside here from Craig as Craig's going to try to go around the outside of John Boy here. But John Boy has the inside line covered off. Part Pooper there on the inside of Aussie Albie right now. Those two battling over 6th and 7th places ahead of M. Afford, followed by Big Blue Revolt Detail of the Mutts Nuts and Archie running at the back. But Maik back up into P2 having lost out to John Boy. John Boy's now got back ahead of Charlie up into third place, but Jay and Mike less than 2/10 apart. They are tied at the bonnets right now as they're coming around the final banking here, about to complete the first lap of the race. And these two, we saw a great battle between them in the final race of the evening last week at Sugo, and they are continuing that on here so far in this second race tonight at Texas Road. As checking the mic, we are working, the mic is working at the moment, our audio is absolutely fine, but Mike here has got the run here on Jay, and I tell you what, he might have an opportunity here to go around the outside into turn one. Jay's got the inside, hugging that apron, trying to keep himself there, as they're now going to be side by side all the way down towards the corner. Can Mike get around the outside here of Jay? Jay's got that move covered off for the time being. John Boy there in foot third ahead of Part Pooper and Craig are side by side. Craig goes a bit deep there coming into turn one. He's going to lose out here to Part Pooper now. Part Pooper up into P5 in the background there. You've got Charlie ahead of Big Blue, followed by Revolt Detailer, who's got Archie trying to pressure him for ninth place. The Mutts Nuts there ahead of M. Afford, who's dropped off of the back of the pack here. It's not been the start that he would have wanted, I'm sure about that. Aussie Albie's got ahead of Part Pooper here. Craig is still on the back of Part Pooper as he's trying to get into P5, but goes a bit onto the grass there to Craig, and has to tuck in for the time being there. Jay still leading ahead of Mike though as we're coming around on lap 2 of the race. Mike has got a great run. I tell you what though, he got a much better exit coming out of that corner, and it's looking to the outside. Jay's gonna have to defend it coming into the final part of the infield. Big lock up there from Jay. Does he get it turned in and get a decent exit? He does, and John Boy is now right on the back of Mike as well. So this is now a 3-man battle for the lead here as we're coming around the oval once again here on lap 2 of the race. Mike though has got the run on here on Jay as Jay just he's onto the apron a little bit there, and that's going to lose him a bit of speed. Mike Gaming's now looking to try and get alongside him. Mike has got a bit of that car alongside Jay. Jay still holding the lead at the moment on the inside, but Mike has just got a nose in front as they're coming over the line here to complete lap 2. John Boy's now got the run, and it's going to probably make this 3 wide in a moment as he's now just tags Jay in the rear a little bit there. But here we go, round the first bank in here, flat out at the moment. As what is Jay doing? He's underneath the apron there. He would have surely got a slowdown penalty for that one. But down towards the first braking zone we come once again as John Boy just tucks in for the time being. He knows he doesn't want to get involved in this. He doesn't want to be too rash and reckless there. Jay goes a bit deep into turn 1, gets it stopped, and holds on ahead of Mike for the time being. Aussie Albie's in the background here, waiting in the wings. You've got Part Pooper right there as well. But John Boy a bit wide there, coming through turn 2. Got a bit of a lock up. Now that might allow Aussie Albie to have a look up the inside. John Boy ever so wide there, getting a bit onto the grass as Aussie Albie has to tuck in. Can't get the move done there. Mike Gaming still on the back of Jay, but still can't get the move done. Part Pooper and Craig are now well in this battle for the lead. Charlie not too far for them as well, running in P7, but Jay, Mike, John Boy, Aussie Albie, Part Pooper top 5 ahead of Craig, followed by Charlie. Big Blue only 3 seconds off for the lead at the moment, then a bit of a gap back to Archie running in P9. He's 6 seconds off for the lead. Revolt Detailer, M. Afford, and the Mutts Nuts completing the classification at the moment, but Jay only just holding on here ahead of Mike at the moment. John Boy within half a second of the lead. Aussie Albie's right there. These two have just these 4, sorry, what am I saying? These 2 have got Part Pooper not too far away. In fact, the top 7 are separated by 2.8 seconds, so it's pretty close here for the top few drivers. It's you know, you can barely put anything between them, but Jay, Mike and John Boy have got a 1/10 of a second between them. The 3 drivers here are absolutely locked horns. Now Aussie Albie's got a bit of a run. He's only a 1/10 and a half behind these guys as well. Now we've got a 4-way battle for the lead as we're now coming down through this first banking section here, down towards turn 1. Part Pooper's now got the run on these guys as well. It's going to be almost 5 cars into 1 here. Jay has the lead. Mike looking down the middle. As you can see, Aussie Albie there's around the outside. He's trying to just hold on the inside there. Gets onto the grass a little bit. John Boy around the outside of Aussie Albie up into 3rd place. Part Pooper's now looking to the outside of Aussie Albie, coming down towards turn 2. Can he get the move done? Aussie Albie has the inside line and covers that one off. Mike Gaming has now got the lead off for Jay, and John Boy's now looking on the back of Jay as well. So we've got battles all over the place right now. But Mike Gaming back up into the lead ahead of these guys, and Part Pooper's trying to get the move done on Aussie Albie here for 4th place. Back to Mike, Jay and John Boy. Here we go as we can see a big lock up there from Jay. Mike goes a bit deep into the corner. Does he get it turned in? He tags the grass a bit on the exit. Now Jay's got the run coming down towards the last corner on the infield section. Here we go. Jay's looking to try and make this run. Oh, as John Boy goes there on the brakes and he tags Jay round, and that was a bit rushed there. A very reckless move there from John Boy, and now Jay's thrown into the path of the oncoming traffic. Aussie, Part Pooper and Craig now right on the back of them, and Jay is not going to take kindly to that. He's going to be fuming with John Boy after that one. John Boy continues on his way. He probably knows that he doesn't want to lose that toe off of Mike. If he does, that could be race over for him. But Mike Gaming's now got almost a second of a gap here over these guys, so that's gone not well at all there for John Boy and Jay. and absolutely no fault of Jay's there. He is now in this chasing pack. He's been passed by Aussie and Part Pooper, and it's got Craig on the back of him as well, as Jay's now got ahead of Part Pooper on the run down towards turn 1, but Makgaming's got a 7/10 of a second gap. John Boy's closed it a bit over the course of this part of the so far. He's closed in this straight line speed section of the track. Aussie Albie's got Part Pooper looking all over the back of him here coming into turn 1, but in fact Part Pooper's got a move done there on Aussie Albie coming into turn 1. Aussie Albie going to get the exit. Oh, it's Jay's lost it. Jay's binned it down the exit of turn 1. Aussie's got the move back done on Part Pooper, has the inside before turn 2. Can he get the move done? In fact, no, he has the outside for turn 2, but he's kept it all the way around him. Part Pooper there on the inside. Has he got the move done? I think he might just squeeze Aussie Albie out here coming into the chicane. Yes, that is job done there for Part Pooper up into third place. Those two getting ahead of Craig. Craig having a bit of a moment, but Jay down to P6 with that moment coming out of turn 1, and he has lost quite a few places here after a very promising start. Had the lead ahead of Mike. Mike's got John Boy hassling him here. 6/10 of a second between these two, but John Boy's move on Jay maybe a little bit rash. Possibly the stewards might want to have a look at that one, because it looked like it was a very late move coming into the final corner. Did Jay come across him, or maybe break a bit early there? Wonder if maybe there's been a few circumstances that weren't obvious on the stream. But nonetheless, Mike ahead of John Boy, followed by Part Pooper ahead of Aussie, followed by Craig. Jay, Big Blue a little bit off to these guys running in 7th place. He's got Charlie about a second behind him. Bit of a gap back to Archie, who's 8 seconds off the lead, running in 9th place. The Mutts Nuts and Emmafford are battling over 10 11th places right now, and they've got a few seconds back to Revolt Detailer, who runs in P12 at the moment. But Makgaming's got just half a second here over John Boy, as they're now coming around the bank in here for the 6th time in this race. Part Pooper's got Aussie all over the back of him. Craig has got Jay looking on the back of him here. He's looking around the outside. Is Jay coming up towards turn 1? He's a little bit too far back. Is he going to try and distract Craig a little bit in the mirrors? As in the foreground, you've got, oh no, as Jay there bins it into the wall. He looks like you've got to get a bit caught out there by Craig's breaking point. He's lost out to Big Blue and Charlie, and Jay is down to 8th place. Oh, you've got to feel for Jay. His race is going from bad to worse at the moment. He's somehow only 7 seconds off of the lead, but he's been binning it left, right and centre here in this one, and he's now well off of the battle for the podium spots. Mike and John Boy still battling 6/10 of a second between the top two. Aussie Albie's within 2 seconds of these guys. Part Pooper on the back of Aussie, with Craig also in hot pursuit. The top 5 separated by 2.5 seconds. You've got Big Blue now 5 seconds behind in 6th place. Charlie's got ahead of Jay as well. Jay is running in P8 in this race, and he's now over 7 seconds off of the lead. It's gone from promising in the early part to a total disaster here for Jay, as we still see Mike and John Boy 6/10 apart, battling over the lead of the race. Aussie's got Part Pooper and Craig currently putting him under a bit of pressure here for 3rd place, but it's all go here in the first part of this second race of the night here for the Clio Cup at Motive. Race 8 of 18 for the full season, and obviously this is round 3 of 6 in terms of it's a 6-week season. This is week 3, as we see Aussie Albie tagging the grass a bit there. Part Pooper's got the run, and we're going to see Part Pooper coming around the outside of Aussie here, but Aussie, I tell you what, has got the run actually. He's got the preferred line. Looks like the apron, hugging the apron is the best place to be around that banking, but Part Pooper looking back around the outside. Can Aussie hold on the inside? He should be able to have that one kept onto there. He goes a little bit deep into turn 1, but gets it stopped in time. Part Pooper nothing doing. Now he's got to watch out as Part Pooper, because I tell you what, Craig's got a bit of a run here coming out down towards turn 2, but Part Pooper keep it onto P4 for the time being then, as we can still see Mike and John Boy battling out over the lead of the race. These two were the championship contenders last season. This season I think it's a bit beyond John Boy to challenge for the championship, obviously having missed last week at Sugo, but he's certainly going to give Mike a run for his money here in this race here tonight at Texas Road Course, as we see John Boy getting a bit sideways there into that corner. Aussie, Part Pooper and Craig in the background. There's Big Blue, who gets a massive lock up there. Jay has got ahead of Charlie, but he's got a bit deep there, and they tell you what, Jay's on the grass and Charlie's going to have to run here side by side there, coming down towards the final corner on the infield. Jay will still have the inside before the left hand bend, as he's going to go down the inside there, and Charlie going to have to leave him the space. Can Charlie get the cut back here on Jay? It looks like he's going to get a better run actually than Jay does. Jay has the position at the moment, but Charlie will get the run coming all the way around the oval section of the track, and will probably be able to come back at him coming over the start finish line. Mike still leads the race by 4/10 ahead of John Boy. Aussie's just ahead of Part Pooper, but Part Pooper once again has got the run on him. Craig there watching in the background, as you can see Part Pooper looking to the outside here on Aussie Albie. Once again, Mike and John Boy 3/10 apart for the battle for the lead, as Jay's still on the back here. In fact, Jay's back ahead of he's still ahead of Charlie, sorry, having got the move done coming into the final corner of the infield section. Craig here looking to the outside of Aussie and Part Pooper. Part Pooper's got is trying to look to the inside. Aussie a bit deep coming into turn 1, a bit late on the brakes, bit of a lock up, but gets it stopped and gets it turned in. John Boy within 2/10 of Mike right now, and continues to put him under massive pressure at this point, As you can see, almost side by side there. Craig was looking to the inside of Park Pooper coming into turn 2, but nothing doing at the moment. But he's really putting the pressure on him as he's looking to try and take a podium maybe in this one, Craig, and racing as a reserve tonight in this Clio Cup as he did last week, and he's doing a great job at the moment. In fact, was it last week or was it the week before? I can't remember. But currently John Boy's still on the back of Maik as he's looking to the inside, coming to the final corner of the Enfield, but can't make it stick. He's a little bit too far back. John Boy actually got it wrong there a little bit. Maik had a bit of a lock up and John Boy had a bit of a hesitation turning into the corner, but both of them survive it. Aussie Albie's once again got Park Pooper side by side with him here, coming through this oval section, and Craig's just clinging to the back of it at the moment, but Craig has got a time penalty. I'm just noticing that on the board there. He's got a little red splotch next to his name, which means that he will have to have an extension of his race finishing time once we get to the end of the race. Aussie has managed to keep on ahead of Park Pooper here, managed to get a better exit and get the better run coming through the oval section of the track, and he's still running in that final podium place at the moment. Makgaming is just ahead of John Boy. These two still battling over the lead of the race. John Boy's still in that slipstream, trying to come at him if he can. Can he get a bit of a run here? John Boy, I tell you what, he's got a lot of closing speed here. Maik's going to have to defend the inside line. John Boy looking to the inside. Maik covers him off there as John Boy's now going to try and get the better run through turn 1. Maik there, going a bit deep into the corner, and John Boy has got himself alongside Maik here. Maik just keep it around the outside there for turn 1. John Boy tucks back into the slipstream, trying to get the cut back here into turn 2. Nothing doing. Maik's got it stopped and just about keeps on to the lead, but John Boy there, I thought he had Maik done for a second there. Maik there was just about alert and alive to the pressure there, but that was close there. A bit clutch there from Makgaming as Aussie Albie still just keeping ahead of Park Pooper and Craig at this point, but these three battling over the third place spot here. We've got Makgaming and John Boy still going at it for the lead of the race. We're on lap 9 here for this second race of the night. Obviously no pit stops in the Clio Cup, as we know, so it's straight out sprint. These guys just battling it out on the track, giving it absolutely everything. John Boy at the moment within 0.4 of a second of Makgaming. These guys now pulled away a bit from Aussie, Park Pooper and Craig, who are still going at it for third place. Big Blue, Jay and Charlie Goff running in 6th, 7th and 8th places at this point, but it's all going, everything happening here once again in the Clio Cup as you expect here. It's what we come to expect from these Clio Cup cars, really. It's always the same way. John Boy's still really close on the back of Maik as they're coming over the line here to complete lap 9. 4 laps left to go here in this middle race of the night, and these two have still been running pretty close, but there's been no position changes, and John Boy hasn't looked like he's gonna imminently make the move. He's looked like he's had chances but hasn't been able to really capitalise on them. Maik's just been, I think he's had that little bit in his locker. He's had that answer to John Boy. John Boy looking to the inside, trying to throw a little dummy here on Maik. Maik, bit of a slide, but gets it turned in. That slide, I think, was just to counter a bit of understeer that he was experiencing coming into the corner. And for the time being, Maik's still your race leader ahead of John Boy. Aussie Albie still keeping ahead of Park Pooper and Craig into turn 2. They come, bit of a lock up there from Park Pooper. These guys are a few seconds clear of Jay, who's trying to gap Big Blue and Charlie. These two actually battling over 7th and 8th places. Big Blue's made the move there on Charlie Goff, so that's job done there for Big Blue. Another position there for him. These guys are a couple of seconds clear of Archie, who's a few seconds clear of the Mutts Nuts. Then you've got M. Afford there in 11th place, and Revolt Detailer running in 12th. It's not been the race for him at all here in this second race, although Maik has gapped John Boy a bit, and John Boy's got a time penalty, so John Boy will have an extra, how much is it? Let's have a look. He's got a 1 second time penalty. Craig's got a 4 second time penalty, so Craig will probably lose out on P4 and could lose out to Jay if Jay gets a move on in the final few laps of this race. But John Boy there with a 1 second time penalty. He's now not only got to get ahead of Maik, but he'd have to actually pull away by over a second as well if he's to win this race. So John Boy now really up against it as we're on to lap 11. We've got 3 laps left to go here at Texas Road Course. Aussie, Craig and Park Pooper still running pretty close at the moment. As you can see, Park Pooper's got a bit of a run here now. He's in that slipstream and he's going to look to try and make the move here on Aussie if he can. He's on the inside of Craig there as well as he's made the move on Craig. Craig's still there though on the outside of Park Pooper coming down towards turn 1. Craig's now dropped a bit off of these guys coming into the corner. Aussie Albie's still got that hold onto at the moment coming into turn 1. Did he get stopped in time? Yes he did. Aussie Albie at the moment keeping it onto that position as Makgaming still got just over a second of a gap here over John Boy, and looking good here for what would be his 6th race win in 8 races this season. If he can take this win here in his second race of the night, it will be his 6th from 8. John Boy ahead of Aussie, followed by Park Pooper and Craig. A bit of a gap back to Jay, who's actually fallen back into the clutches of Big Blue here, so I wonder if Jay just feeling the pressure a little bit, trying to catch up to Craig. he obviously knows that if he can get within 4 seconds of Craig, he will inherit that 5th place. So that could be a bit of added incentive there for him to push, and it's maybe just making him vulnerable to Big Blue. Big Blue's got a bit of a run actually here on Jay, side by side. This is the corner where Jay's got plenty of confidence to send it in late. He goes a bit deep into the corner. Big Blue can't get the cut back there. That's job done. Back up to P6 there for Jay. Craig and Park are having a bit of a battle here as Aussie Albie's managed to gap these two a little bit over the course of this lap. He's now got nearly a second to these guys. Park Pooper's just squeezing back ahead of Craig as they're coming around the oval part. He's keeping onto that apron, just tagging that white line there, and in the meantime these two a couple of seconds off of John Boy. John Boy's falling off for the race leader Maik at this point, but Craig's still trying to get back onto Park Pooper if he can. Jay and Big Blue running pretty close. Charlie's right on these guys as well as they're starting the penultimate lap here of this race, and here we go. We can see Charlie Goff trying to thread the needle here as Jay's on the inside underneath that apron. Once again we see Jay every lap, he's just underneath that apron. He looks like he's just a little bit loose there coming to that part of the track. Now look at this, Charlie Goff's trying to send one down the inside, can't get Jay, gets Big Blue, and he's up into 7th place. There is Charlie. Big Blue trying to come back at him, almost giving Charlie a bit of a tap there coming into turn 2, but can't get back ahead of him there. Charlie's got that move done up into P7 well and truly there, but Aussie, Park Pooper and Craig still battling over 3rd place here. These guys separated by just under a second. Maik's got the gap almost 2 seconds now to John Boy and looks to have this race done, barring any major catastrophes in the final part of this second race of the night. Gap just creeping over 2 seconds there as they come towards the end of the infield. There's Aussie ahead of Park Pooper, followed by Craig. There's Jay running in P6. He's just keeping Charlie and Big Blue at bay at the moment. As we see a bit of a lock up there from Charlie. I tell you what, he's really pushing the limits there. But Makgaming here, just over 2 seconds is his gap over John Boy as he starts, or he's just coming round to start the final lap of the race. Here he is. So one more round for Makgaming here. We've got Aussie Albie still keeping ahead of Park Pooper in his battle for the podium spots, and what a night Aussie Albie has had, taking the win in the first race of the night. He's currently running in 3rd place again, so looking on course for another podium. Park Pooper's looking around the outside. He's got the run here on Aussie, and he's probably going to... No, once again, we see that the grip on the inside, tagging that apron, gives you such a much better grip, and every single time we're seeing the overspeed from the car on the inside over the car on the outside, it is really prevalent as Aussie goes a bit deep into turn 1, and he might be vulnerable. Park Pooper's going to try and get the cut back, can't do it, he has to back out, and that's going to allow Craig to look up the inside here of Park Pooper as well, because Park Pooper was a bit down on speed coming out of turn 1, but Craig can't make anything happen just there. Maik's now got the gap at over 2.5 seconds here to John Boy, and has pretty much got this race done as long as he doesn't make any mistakes in the final few corners. Aussie Albie's still keeping Park Pooper and Craig at bay. This is the battle right now. This is where it's at here for the final lap of the race. Jay ahead of Charlie, ahead of Big Blue. These guys also battling out over 6th, 7th and 8th places, but Aussie Albie still just ahead here as Park Pooper's now got the run once again, but Aussie Albie's going to hold that inside. Can Park Pooper get around the outside of him? Aussie Albie needs a good exit here. He needs to get on the power early and try and get a good run here coming around the oval section of the track. Park Pooper's got to look in his mirrors because he's got Craig all over the back of him as well, but Aussie Albie here, I don't think he's got a good enough run. Park Pooper's going to nab him here, and Craig might be able to nab Park Pooper as well. But we got to go to Makgaming because he's about to take the win here for the second race of the night. Flash the lights from our Clio Cup champion as he takes his 6th win in the space of 8 races. Makgaming, what a performance there. John Boy over in second. Park Pooper gets John Boy on the penalties. So Park Pooper takes P2 ahead of John Boy, who takes P3. Aussie Albie 4th ahead of Craig, who takes P5. So Aussie Albie and Craig getting penalties. Oh, Aussie Albie got a penalty on the last lap there. So what a shame there for him. Craig P5. Jay didn't get within that 4 seconds of Craig in the end. He comes over to take 6th ahead of Big Blue in 7th. Charlie over in 8th place in the end ahead of Archie in 9th place. The Mutsnuts took P10 as he's just finished the race, and Emmatford will be the last driver to finish the race in 11th place. We lost the driver right at the end there. That was Revolt Detail who we lost there on that last lap, so unfortunate there to lose him right at the end, but that is that for the second race. Makgaming taking the win ahead of Park Pooper and John Boy. What action we've seen here tonight, guys. I'm absolutely shattered, to be fair. I've been up since 4 this morning. I didn't have my usual nap in the afternoon, so I'm exhausted, but I'm trying my very best to cover this. These guys are not making it easy for me. Hats off to them. What a show that these guys are putting on tonight. We'll be back very shortly for the final race of the evening. We're going to have a short practice before we get going for it, and also it's going to be a reverse grid based on these results. I don't think we're going to have Craig for the final race, so he will be excluding him from the reverse grid, but guys, we'll go back to the lobby and we'll be back very shortly. Here we are then, guys, welcome back for the final race of the evening here for the Clio Cup. This is obviously round 3, or week 3 of the Clio Cup of 6. This is going to be race 9 of 18. Tonight was races 7, 8 and not of 18, pardon me, that was a burp. But as we're coming in, it's only a practice session at the moment, so this obviously doesn't mean anything in terms of the actual grid order that we're going to be seeing at the start of this race. We're unfortunately missing a few regular drivers here tonight. Obviously, Craig's had to go off and pick somebody up, so he's had to miss this final race of the night. Obviously, Connor had to dip out. We missed Nick Lavilla as well as Smoky Devil. So there's a few people who we're without. Obviously, Cobb not here as well. So all in all, I think we've done quite well with numbers tonight, all things considered. But we've got Makgaming there, quickest in that practice session. But the grid order is going to be slightly different, as we're going to have a manual formation lap before we get going here, so the drivers can get into the order that they're supposed to be in. I've read out that order a few moments ago, so the guys all know where they're going to be starting for this final race here of the night. I want to say a big thank you to everybody tuning in right now. If you're a friend, family member, or otherwise associate of any of the drivers out on track, please do let us know who you're supporting. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the Motive Racing channel if this is your first time watching. We do still stream Project Cars 2. I don't stream it for clout. I know it's an old game. I know it's dead. I know it's, but I love the game, and that's why I still stream it, and that's why I still commentate on it. It's my favourite, probably my favourite sim racing game ever, and I will always, as long as the servers are still up, I'll always run leagues on Project Cars 2, and I will always stream on it. It's my heart overruling my head. I know it's old hat, but I don't care. I just love it. My favourite game, and we'll be here until its dying breath. But here we are then, 11 cars on the grid. It looks like we're all readied up and ready to go here for this final race of the evening here. Race 9 of 18 for the whole season. No pit stops here this season for the Clio Cup. It's just straight out racing for all these guys as we're now getting ready for this formation laps. The drivers are going to get into order. Reverse grid based on the finishing order from race 2 that we had a few minutes ago. morning, guys. We're just coming towards the end of the formation lap, getting ready to go once again for this final race of the evening. It's going to be 14 laps, probably about 20 minutes all told in terms of total time out on the track racing, but we've got Revolt Detail leading us around. He'll be the driver to get us underway officially once he's got his foot flat to the pedal and he's shown significant acceleration. The track will be green and these drivers will be able to race for the final time as he's now weaving around, trying to get some temperature in the tyres, trying to make sure he's utmost ready and up for this here as we're now coming around the final banking. When's he going to go? When's he going to pull the plug and say, that's it, boys, no more waiting around, this is it, this is on, here we go. Still not gone yet, still bunching back. Here we go, we're racing now. Revolti says his foot to the floor. We are officially underway. Boogity, 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 boy. For the final time here at Texas Road Course tonight as we're over the line now. As you've got M. Afford there who's got a bit sleepy off of the line. Archie has got Charlie and the Mutts Nuts all over him as they're coming through around the oval part. Here we go. So we've got Big Blue there just behind them ahead of Jay. Jay's looking to the inside of Big Blue and might have that move done up towards the first braking zone. Ozzy, John Boy, Mike and Pop Hooper completing the classification right now, but it's Revolt Detail ahead of Mike as we can see. Sorry, M. Afford. Charlie gets a bit of tap in the rear there, unfortunately there, as that looked like that might have been, was that, I don't know who it was to be fair, but somebody just gave him a big tap there. It might have been Archie, but Big Blue there looking to the inside of Archie as Charlie swoops around the outside of Big Blue, and Big Blue there, bit of a slide. Charlie Goff keeping it around the outside there. Great move from Charlie Goff up into 4th place. Revolt Detail still ahead of M. Afford. M. Afford managed to survive that little slide. He got a bit of a tap in the rear coming through turn 1, but keeps on to P2 at the moment. Archie there in 3rd place ahead of Charlie. I think it was Charlie that gave M. Afford the tap coming into turn 1 actually. He's just ahead of Big Blue, followed by Ozzy Abbey, John Boy ahead of Jay, followed by Mike Gaming, Part Pooper, and the Mutts Nuts had a nightmare over first lap. He's well off at the back of the pack. He looks like he might have got caught up in something, but Revolt Detail leading ahead of M. Afford as these two coming out of the infield section, coming up towards the oval bit now. We've got Archie right on the back of these guys as they've gapped Charlie Goff ever so slightly as they're now coming around the oval part of the lap. And so far, Revolt Detail has managed to do everything right and keep on to this P1 for the time being. M. Afford, though, has got the slipstream and has got the run. He might fancy his chances coming up towards turn 1. Here we go, over the line to complete the first lap. Revolt Detail leads a lap here in the Clio Cup, but M. Afford here is on a hard charge around the outside. Now, can he keep it there? He's now got the lead of the race, but we've seen over the course of this evening, the inside line around the oval is so superior. Hugging that apron really gives you so much overspeed on the outside line as we've got Archie looking to the inside of M. Afford into turn 1. Oh no, we got a collision there. As we can see, unfortunately there, we can see that's Revolt Detailer into the wall. He's actually managed to keep it out of the wall, but M. Afford into the wall. It was all, I think, a triggered there from Archie looking up the inside, and unfortunately for Revolt Detailer, he had nowhere to go in the middle of the track. M. Afford there putting the wall into the tyre barrier, and he's left the session. I can't say I blame him there. What was happening there? Oh no, Revolt Detailer has been sent spinning there. He's on his roof. That was barrel rolling there for Revolt Detailer. Who triggered him there? Archie there leads the race ahead of Ozzy Albie, followed by Big Blue. Revolt Detailer down to P10 in this race. He's got huge damage on the front of that car. That is going to be crabbing like no tomorrow, but Archie leading ahead of Ozzy Albie, and Archie's got a fantastic chance of winning a race here. Jay is now on the back of Ozzy Albie and Big Blue. John Boy right with him as well. Part Pooper and Mike. Mike has not had the best of openings to this race. He's currently 5 seconds off of the lead. He's about nearly 3 seconds behind Jay and John Boy at this point, so it's not been the race that he would have needed at all. Charlie's just behind Mike. You've got the Mutts Nuts there, 7 seconds off of the lead, so he's kept the gap to the lead since his first lap mayhem. But Revolt Detailer with huge damage on the front of that car, and he's going to need to come in and get that fixed, and it's going to be, I think, quite a while in the pits there for him. But Archie still leads the race by just under a second here ahead of Ozzy Albie, followed by Big Blue, who's got John Boy, Jay and Part Pooper in close contention here. These guys battling out over the podium spots with 2 wide coming into turn 1 between Big Blue and John Boy. As you can see, Jay just trying to snake his nose in the middle there. He gets it all wrong there onto the grass, and he might have to defend here from Part Pooper. Part Pooper's got the run there coming towards turn 2. Jay will have the inside line and will defend that one from Part Pooper, but Big Blue keeping ahead of John Boy at the moment. Ozzy Albie's now fallen back into the clutch of these guys here, and this is now a 5-man battle for second place here. Archie's trying to break away a little bit, but in fact these two, Ozzy Albie's just gained a bit there on him and has actually brought these guys into play as John Boy's backed out out of it. Has he got a slowdown penalty? I think he might have had a slowdown there, because John Boy had to let about 3 drivers past there and drops him down to P6, so that's not gone well for him. But Archie still leads ahead of Aussie Albie, followed by Big Blue. Jay there in 4th ahead of Park Pooper. John Boy down to P6, is now falling back into the clutches of Makgaming. There's Charlie and the Nuts running in 8th and 9th places. Revolt Detailer still going, but he's retired the car, and I can't say I blame him at all there. Revolt Detailer got absolutely taken out going into the chicane. In the meantime, Archie, Aussie, Big Blue, and these three tenths apart. Jay and Park Pooper just battling over 4th places. They're coming over the line here to complete lap 4 of the race. You can see there's a 3-way battle for the lead, there's a 2-way battle for 4th place. Let's jump on board with Big Blue as he's trying to go around the outside here of Aussie Albie and Archie. Aussie Albie's trying to keep himself there. He'll have the inside actually for this oval section, and we've seen before the inside is such a superior spot to be in when you're side by side, when you're in formation around this part of the track. Aussie Albie leads coming down towards turn 1 once again. Archie looking to the inside. Jay's trying to send one here on the inside, and he's going to get that move done there as Aussie Albie a bit of a slide, and Jay's going to try and make 3 places in one corner here, but he can't do it. He's into P2 though. Aussie Albie holds the inside line ahead of Jay. Big Blue's got to watch out. He's looking up the inside here of Archie. Can he get this move done? Big Blue, bit of a slide there as Archie holds it around the outside. Park Pooper and John Boy right behind these guys. Park Pooper has to tuck in there behind Archie for the time being, but Aussie Albie there is just keeping ahead of Jay. These two tenths apart, and some great racing in the early stages of this final race of the night as Park Pooper sends it down the inside there of Archie and back up into 3rd place. As this is a great fight here. This is now turning into a 7-car battle for the lead of the race, with Makgaming now joining this as well. But just John Boy's going to have the inside for Mike, and we'll cover him up coming into the final corner on the infield section. But Aussie Albie, Jay, Park Pooper and Archie with Big Blue in the middle of it, and John Boy and Mike are side by side coming round the oval section of the track as we're 5 laps into the 14 lap race for the finale of this evening. And this is 7 cars for the lead. Oh, it's Aussie Albie and Jay, bit of contact, they managed to hold it. Oh, great driving from those two. I tell you what, they did a bit of a pickle to get themselves into that position, but they did so well to avoid a massive crash that would have caught up pretty much everybody else as well if they had made big contact there. Park Pooper leading ahead of Aussie and Jay, who are still side by side. Big Blues looking to the inside as they're coming down towards turn 1 once again. We got 7 for the lead here in the final race of the night. Park Pooper leading Jay, as we can see Archie. Oh, Archie tags Jay round, and he gets tagged there in the back by John Boy as well. John Boy pushing Archie there. He had nowhere to go as John Boy there, which was just, I think, it basically had no alternative but to go ploughing into him. Aussie Albie on the back of Park Pooper. Big Blue might lose out to Jay. Jay's trying to go around the outside here. Jay's got damage though on the front of the car. He's got big damage there. That is holding on by the skin of its teeth, that front bumper. But sometimes on these Clios, I'll tell you what, the front bumper damage can look worse than it is. Quite often you can actually manage it by being close to drivers and by being in the slipstream, so maybe Jay might be able to combat that quite nicely. But Park Pooper, race leader ahead of Aussie Albie, followed by Jay. You got Big Blue ahead of Mike, followed by Archie. Then you got John Boy in P7. So now that 7-car battle is down to a 5-car battle, and Archie and John Boy a little way off at them, with the Nuts still running 7 seconds off for the lead, and Charlie there running in 9th place, over 10 seconds off for the lead now. So it's not been the final race of the evening that he would have needed at all. Park Pooper ahead of Aussie Albie, still these two 1 and 2, 2 tenths apart. Jay still right there, despite the damage on his car. He's still making a fist of this race, with Big Blue and Mike within a second of the leaders here as we're coming over the line here to start lap 7 of the race. As Big Blue's now looking on the back of Jay here, coming down towards turn 1 once again here, coming into the braking zone. Park Pooper there with the inside. Jay though's looking all over these guys. He's hugging that apron, that faster line that we said about. He's now looking to the inside here. He might have to run here on Aussie Albie. Is he going to send one here? Jay's looking down the inside of Park Pooper. Oh wow, that is a brave move there. He pushed him in a bit wide, but Jay has seized the lead. A bit aggressive there. Park Pooper there might not be too happy with that one, but Jay has the inside for turn 2 and has got that move up into the lead. Well and truly completed. Makgaming's got to watch out because Big Blue's on his inside here, coming on the exit of turn 2 in towards the chicane. Mike will have the inside and has got that one covered off, but Jay absolutely ploughed down the inside there, made 2 places into one corner into turn 1. Park Pooper has to tuck in. He's looking to the inside, but Jay there, bit of a slide there coming to the right hander, has that stopped though, and Park Pooper is now going to watch out because Mike is looking all the way back at him, but for second place. Big Blue there is right behind these guys. Archie's dropped off. John Boy and also Aussie Albie has really fallen off of these guys. Now down in 8th place. He's 7 seconds seconds off for the lead. What a shame for Aussie Albie in this final race. Can't get another win after his fantastic victory in the first race of the night. But Park Pooper and Maik side by side with Big Blue right there as well. And we've still got 4th for the lead here as we're halfway through this final race of the night. And you've got Big Blue in the slipstream there. But Jay, your race leader, could he be on for another race win after taking the final race of the evening last week at Sugo? Can he do the same thing here tonight at Texas Road Course? And Makgaming could be in with a shout of taking his 7th win from 9 races if he can win this one here. Park Pooper now takes the lead. Makgaming following him through. Jay there is on the inside though, and we'll have the run on Maik coming down towards turn 1. Can Jay do what he did on the previous lap and send one on Park Pooper? Surely Park Pooper's going to be alert and alive to it this time as we come into turn 1. Park Pooper defends the inside. Jay looking down the middle. He's going to try and send it there, but can't make it happen. He's just squeezing Maik to the edge of the track, and it's all fair and good, I suppose. He's entitled to that line if he wants to, but Maik's going to have the inside for turn 2, and Maik give Jay a taste of his own medicine here. But Jay there down the middle. Makgaming's just got it there, but they're going to be side by side into the chicane. Can Jay keep it there? No, he can't. Maik has that done up into 2nd place. Big Blue watching this unfold in front of him. Park Pooper leads the race again. And Maik there is now going to challenge Park Pooper, but Jay sending one on Maik. Oh, he goes very late again. Jay's going all over the place. Oh, he's lost it, and he goes into Big Blue. Big Blue gets clouted into the side there by Jay, and Jay keeps ahead of Big Blue for the time being, but Jay's all over the place, and maybe the damage, although it's not affecting his speed, is potentially affecting the drivability of that car because he's all over the place at the moment. This is potentially bringing Archie and John Boy back into the battle for a podium here as these two running in P5 and 6, but Jay really struggling here with the drivability of that car. He's all over the place as Park Pooper leads ahead of Maik, followed by Jay in 3rd place. You've got Big Blue all over the back of Jay as they're coming over the line to complete lap 8. There's Archie and John Boy in the background ahead of the Mutts Nuts, followed by Aussie. In fact, Aussie's got ahead of the Mutts Nuts up into 7th place, so he's made that move once again here on him. But Park Pooper leading coming up towards turn 1. Makgaming still right there on the back of him here. It's Big Blue and Jay side by side coming in towards the corner here. You can see Jay is going to have the inside line. Big Blue's going to leave him the space. Jay once again late on the brakes as we've seen over the course of this event tonight into turn 1. Gets it stopped, but he's going to watch out because Big Blue's going to have the outside for turn 2. He's going to go all the way around the outside. No, Jay's going to cover that one off. You're not going to get Jay around the outside there, Big Blue, I tell you. But Makgaming is now putting the pressure on Park Pooper, and Makgaming's going to try and take his 2nd win of the night here at Texas Road Course, and if he can win this race it'll be 7 wins out of 9 for the season. But Park Pooper is going to try and win what I think might even be his first win in the Clios. If he can win tonight, it would actually be his first win in the Clios. I know he's taken 2 wins in the touring cars, but I don't think he's actually won a race in the Clios yet, so it would be a first if he can do it here. But let's not speak too soon and curse him, because Makgaming, I tell you what, has got a great run coming out of the infield. Park Pooper will have the better exit though, seeing as he was on the outside. They're going to be side by side, but Makgaming will have that advantage of being on the inside for the oval bit, because as we said before, that inside line is absolutely crucial here around Texas in that oval section. And now Makgaming has the lead once again. Park Pooper is going to tuck back in for some slipstream. In the background you can see Big Blue and Jay running side by side here as they come over the line to complete lap 9 of the race. On to lap 10 we come. 5 laps left to go here for tonight's action here at Texas Road Course. Makgaming just ahead of Park Pooper. Park Pooper is trying to get around the outside of him, but that outside line really doesn't do any favours here as he's now looking to try and maybe get outfox Maik into turn 1. Makgaming has the inside. Can Park Pooper get the exit? Can he get a bit of a cut back here? Maik a little bit deep, but Park Pooper not unable to punish him there for that one. And Makgaming's got that covered up coming into turn 2. Big Blue ahead of Jay, followed by Archie. These guys still battling over 3rd, 4th and 5th places at this point, as that was a hiccup. John Boy there all by himself running in P6. The Mutts Nuts and Aussie Albie side by side here into turn 2. Aussie has the inside. The Mutts Nuts is trying to go round the outside here, but he can't do it, and Aussie has that done back up into 7th place there. No, in fact, he lets him past. So Aussie Albie got out of it there for the Mutts Nuts, and the Mutts Nuts is back up into 7th place. As we can see, Makgaming and Park Pooper still 3/10 apart. There's Big Blue ahead of Jay, followed by Archie. John Boy there 5 seconds off for the lead at the moment. There's the Mutts Nuts, who's just ahead of Aussie Albie at this point. But Makgaming with the lead once again, and we've seen him take so many wins so far this season. It looks like it could be another one for him. As I said before, it'd be 7 wins from 9 races if he can continue where he is at this point. and what a job it would be for him if he can take another win. But Part Pooper's not going to make it easy for him here, as Part Pooper's got a little bit of a run. But once again, that inside line is so crucial around Texas Road Course through that oval section, and Part Pooper will have him covered off coming into turn one once again. Big Blue there just ahead of Archie and Jay. Still these guys giving it some here for the podium places, as we can see Jay down the inside there of Archie into turn one. That's going to be chopped done there for Jay, still making the most of it despite that damage. Big Blue bit wide onto the grass on the exit of turn one. Jay can't get it done into turn two, has to still tuck in for the time being as he gives Big Blue a bit of a tap in the rear there. Jay, you don't want to be doing that because you don't want to be aggravating that damage that you got on the front end. It's bad enough as it is. You don't want to be knocking that thing clean off, I tell you. That's not going to give you that's not going to do you any favours at all. Maik and Part Pooper are still running 4/10 apart in the battle for the lead, but this battle for the podium spot's really heating up right now, as Big Blue didn't get a great run there coming through the penultimate corner of the infield section. Jay looking around the outside here. Can he get the move? He's, as we can see, Big Blue just getting a decent enough exit out of the corner. Jay's going to have to tuck in for slipstream because he's not going to have the straight line speed over Big Blue with that damage on the front. Maik and Part Pooper now 6/10 apart. Maik has extended that gap over the course of this lap, but Part Pooper still keeping himself in the hunt with a bit of slipstream. He'll keep himself latched onto that back end of Maik for the time being. Big Blue, Jay and Archie, looks like we might be 3 wide actually coming up towards turn one. Here we come through the first part of the oval. And Jay once again taking this. He's always got a bit. He's got himself on the inside here of Big Blue. Big Blue's getting into space as Jay might have to run here into turn one. This is going to be chopped down there for Jay. Surely into the podium places. Big Blue trying to keep it around the outside. Jay's right there. Big Blue will have it there though, and he'll have the inside for turn two if he can keep himself there. Big Blue there is going to cover that off. Now Jay's got to watch out because Archie's on the attack, but Big Blue there keeping on to third place. Great racing from these boys. Makgaming still leading ahead of Part Pooper, half a second between these two, as we've got 2.5 laps left to go. What has Part Pooper got to throw at Maik in the final part of this race? Big Blue keeping ahead of Jay at the moment, ahead of Archie there in P5. Aussie there running ahead of the Nuts right now, with John Boy right there in 8th place. Oh, it's John Boy, big slide there. Massive slide as he's just lost a bit of time there to Aussie and the Nuts in the process. Maik continuing to put out the gap to Part Pooper. It's now 0.8 of a second. This is the part of the lap where Part Pooper will obviously gain down to the fact that he's got the slipstream, but Maik on the whole is gaining about 2 or 3 tenths a lap and looks set to take his 7th win in the space of 9 races here in this Clio Cup for season 12 here at Motive on Project Cars 2. Big Blue and Jay still battling, but in fact Jay's fallen back into the clutches of Archie here. Archie's got the run. That damage for Jay's really compromising him. Archie's got the run here, and but Jay's got the inside and should be able to squeeze back ahead of him coming round this final part of the first part of the oval. Down towards turn one they come, side by side coming into the braking zone there. Jay once again is going to have the better of Archie. This is giving Big Blue a chance to breathe, but they're still right on the back of him here. He hasn't managed to shake these two off by any stretch of the imagination here. Maik has just got 0.7 to Part Pooper. He's just keeping him at arm's reach at the moment. Keeping an eye on the Nuts and Aussie because they're still battling over 6th and 7th places at the moment. They're having a good little scrap just there. Part Pooper within a second of Makgaming at the moment, as these two still running close. Big Blue has got Jay just behind him, half a second separating those two. There's Archie looming large in the background. Makgaming's just gapped Part Pooper by over a second here, so Maik should be good to take this win home here in this final race of the evening here for Texas Road Course race, or round 3, obviously race 9 of the season with 3 races per round for the Clio Cup. Big Blue still just ahead of Jay and Archie at the moment. The Nuts and Aussie are still going at it for 6th and 7th places here, as Makgaming starts the final lap of the race here with Part Pooper in tow. Gap down to 0.8, so Part Pooper's gained a bit coming through the oval, as you'd expect through this part of the track, with that slipstream again paying dividends, but Maik was 0.3 quicker on that previous lap. Big Blue there running just ahead of Jay, but Big Blue's obviously got that penalty. Jay hasn't. into turn 1 we come once again. Jay's having to defend from Archie also, who's really on the attack, but Jay knows he just needs to sit behind Big Blue and he'll take the podium on the penalties. Always Big Blue a bit wide coming through turn 1, went a bit deep. Jay can't do anything though, as Archie's still watching and waiting. The Mutsnuts and Aussie Albie still battling over 6th and 7th places as well, as they're coming into turn 2 for the final time. Makgaming and Park Pooper still 7/10 apart as they're coming through the infield for the final few corners of the infield. And I think Mike's done enough here, unless Park Pooper can get a heck of a run coming through the final left-hand hairpin which leads onto the oval. I think Mike's just done enough here, so he can get a good run here. Park Pooper got a decent enough exit, but I think Mike should be home and hosed here. What's going on in the battle for third place? Big Blue's just got a run here on Jay. I think he should be able to take third place on the track, but Jay will take it on the time penalties here. Archie right behind Jay. Is he going to have a crack at Jay coming around the final banking? Makgaming though is going to take the win here in the third race of the night. He's going to make it 2 wins from 3 here tonight at Texas Road Course, and 7 out of 9 for the season so far. Makgaming extends his championship lead. Park Pooper takes second place. Jay P3 on the track ahead of Archie. P4 on the track, but P3 on the classification with Big Blue's penalty. Archie also nabs Big Blue there for 4th place. Big Blue over in 5th ahead of Aussie Albie P6. The Mutsnuts over in 7th place in the end. So Aussie Albie coming out on top ahead of the Mutsnuts for P6. John Boy over in 8th place. Not the race for him in this third race of the night. And Charlie Goff, he is having a torrid season. He really is not having the rub of the green. 9th place for him, and he'll be the last driver to finish. And that is that then, ladies and gentlemen, for the Clio Cup here tonight. Makgaming taking 2 wins out of 3. A fantastic night from him. Aussie Albie obviously taking the first race of the night. A massive congratulations to him. So happy to see him finally taking a win. But Makgaming, Park Pooper and Jay, your podium finishers. Thank you to the drivers for watching this back afterwards. If you're a friend, family member, otherwise associate of any of the drivers, please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. And to the drivers, if you want to share this with any friends or family members, then please do show them what you're getting up to here on a Monday night here at Motive. We'll be back tomorrow night, guys, for the GT3 League here back on Project Cars 2. Also, big shout out to the drivers. If you want to join us tomorrow night for the GT3s, please do get involved. Make the request on SLP because we are expecting to have a few spaces for that one, so definitely get involved if you like. But from us, it's a very good night. We'll see you tomorrow at the same time as always, 8:30 p.m. UK time for the GT3. Thanks everybody once again, and we'll see you soon. Good night.